I feel like it is just much more important for people to have connection with people. And the only way you're going to do that is through vulnerability. Because what people think about you is none of your damn business. That should not ever be a driving factor in your daily life, ever.
Something you learn to get better as you get older, I'd say, for sure.
For sure. And I think that you said it earlier about social media. Yeah. I hate social media.
Yeah. I've got obviously for this podcast, I do it, but
my wife does the whole social media communications for One Tribe, and it's like she knows how much I hate it.
Yeah, she
knows I hate it, but her words, necessary evil.
Yeah,
and to a degree, I agree, but I think it's evolved into so much more than what it was set out to be.
Yeah.
Like I know you have to use it. You have to use it to promote this podcast in order to get listeners, in order to stay relevant or to get more guests, so on and so forth. I understand all that.
Yeah.
But for 2 years in a row in our country, teenage girls have led in suicide.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I guarantee you, social media plays a major role in that.
Yeah, my kid's not getting a phone or social media until she's an adult, dude.
Yeah, I mean, look, we don't allow our 13-year-old to be on social media.
Yeah, there's no good from it. I personally have an AI software called Opus Clip that literally that takes the podcasts and finds where to do the clips, and then I schedule it so I don't get on social media. So it's scheduled for the week so that I know
that's AI that could be good,
right?
But I promise you it's not. There's
no, there's definitely the downside, but from that, for me to know, if you know what your demons are, if you know anybody will say, if you have enough restraint to get on social media and look at cute cat videos and then for a few minutes and then move off and you're good, then hey, more power to you, but I'm not like that. So, if you know to restrain yourself and say, this is not necessary, this is a huge waste of time. And
it can turn into an addiction like anything else.
Absolutely. Especially with TikTok, man. Those are like the 8 seconds.
I have buddies send me TikTok videos every single day.
Yeah.
I mean, in no judgment, I don't judge them. But look, to each their own, right? I'm live and let live. If it's not hurting you or somebody else, I don't give a damn.
Yeah. I know for me, for a fact that it's soul sucking. I feel it. I know
Good for you, dude, that you can identify that. Yeah. A lot of people can't, because a lot of people don't do the work you clearly do to feed their own soul.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's awesome that you do, because it makes me feel a lot better about the fact that you've procreated.
Amen.
Right?
Passing that mindset on, for sure.
But that's exactly what I mean is if we, at some point, we have to decide, okay, our kids, it's up to me, up to you and our wives to make sure our kids are self-respecting, self-loving before they can do anything for anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
We get caught up in hey, do this for little Johnny, or make sure you don't say this to little Susie, before we tell them, hey, be sure to love you.
Yeah.
And be your own biggest fan and your own biggest advocate at everything you do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who cares what anyone else thinks?
Yeah.
You do you. Everyone else is taken.
Mm-hmm.
And every day you wake up, it's you versus you. Not you versus your class, not you versus your teacher, not you versus your coach, you versus us. It's you versus you. And don't forget, no one kicks the shit out of you more than you. So give yourself a break.
Amen. 100%, man. You were talking about vulnerability. Do you find that when you're dealing with first responders and vets who their role and responsibility is to help and protect other people? So I think there's a lot of times there can be some walls that are up there. Do you feel right? So do you feel like
not to dime out these in particular professionals, but yeah, 100%, dude. It's not, because a lot of them are the alpha personality, and just because I say alpha doesn't mean male always. There's a lot of alpha females. But man, it's not, and it's just habitual behavior,
right?
And the fear of judgment and ridicule, that really comes into play. I don't want my chief or my friggin' CEO or my wife or my sons or my daughters to. It's hey, you want to connect with them? stop giving a shit what they think
But
and be
why
real.
is that? Why is showing vulnerability seen as a sign of weakness? So, because I've never had that, but I can understand how somebody in a position of
Because that's
power
been
might-
ingrained in our society.
right? Especially those in positions of power. It's like you can't show weakness, or otherwise.
Majority
you're
of
not the alpha.
people that watch or have watched the Kardashians, Jerry Springer, they watch it for justification of oneself.
to make themselves feel better. So like, I'm not this shitty person.
It's not that bad, right? And they have something they can point to.
Right.
And it's like, then again, there you go again, comparing and contrasting pain and suffering. Like, just let your shit be your shit, my shit be my shit, and we both just understand shit sucks.
Yeah. Well, how do you break through to someone who's dealing with that wants to change?
Someone
but they're not.
I deal with, if they end up in my office, it's like bad, because I don't have the alphabet soup behind my name. It's probably tough love time, and I tell them, like, if you know.
Alphabet soup behind my name. I haven't heard that. That's pretty good.
Well, I mean, and no judgment, but I don't. And I tell them, like, look, if you aren't going to do what we tell you to do and utilize these resources that we're giving you, whether it be through our foundation or foundations we're partnered with, because we have tons of partners. We're not naive enough to think we can do this alone. Then I want you to tell me what you want your funeral to look like. And I want you to write it through your spouse's and your children's eyes, not yours.
Yeah, make them realize how important it is that showing this vulnerability is going to help in
Because
changing.
Nothing will be you going through your vulnerability and your self-growth and healing is completely incomparable to the pain that your family will feel at your funeral.
Right. Yeah.
And, oh, by the way, that'll be generational. You know, and some people, man, unfortunately, I just feel like they get so desperate for peace that they feel like that's the only way.
Do you is there a way for people to get involved, volunteers and stuff like that?
Of course. Yeah. Look, again, the #1 tribefoundation.org. Check us out. Maybe we're doing something that you think's cool and you want to come take part in. Do it. Because here's the deal. I don't give a damn if you help one tribe or you help someone else somewhere else, but go do something. Somewhere. It's bigger than you'll ever be. Just pick something.
Yeah.
Right? Because we're not designed to be selfish creatures all the time. We're designed as herd animals. And we need to be
social creatures
around other people. And so if you want to tell me how much you're struggling, then I'll tell you, go help somebody for no reason that can never repay you. Then come back and tell me what that did for your soul.
Yeah. Yeah. Feeling fulfilled helping others is the number one thing. Number one way to feel fulfilled is to help others.
I mean, I don't know about you, but you know, I'm
but intuitively it's not like that. Intuitively, especially when you're younger and if you're selfish, then you don't see that when you're younger. You think that the way to happiness is to give to yourself, right?
Well, when you're younger, you're still dealing with the whole survival of the fittest mentality. You know, like only the strong survive. I want to stick around. What can I do to get what I want, what I need?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, but when, because you're too young, you haven't lived enough life to be as scarred as you and I are, right? I mean, you're still innocent. And that's the thing. There's a lot of purity there. With that comes a lot of ignorance too. You just haven't lived enough life.
Yeah. That's
the thing. I tell people all the time, like if we were raising money for dogs that not die by suicide, we'd be billionaires. Like seriously, we'd be sitting on billions of dollars to do the mission and the work we do because people don't get jaded by dogs. People get jaded by people.
Right.
And it's unfortunate, but it's an unfortunate fact. And my thing is like,
They
hey,
like their dogs more than they like their fellow man. It's weird.
you could beat the shit out of your dog all day, every day, come home, and he's probably wagging his tail at the door, just happy to see you, waiting on his beating. Like, you know, whereas human beings, man, it's God, greed. Just greed. Give him a little bit of power. Give him a little bit of money. I mean, look where we are right now. United States of America. You know, if we want to be powerful, no shit powerful, we need the people of 9/12 without the 9/11. Then we're powerful.
Break that down for me.
We shouldn't have to go through being attacked by a bunch of cowards for us to come together as a nation.
Yeah.
Shouldn't take that. Our power is in our numbers, period. And we're more divided now. I mean, my parents are 74, 75. And both of them say we've never seen it this way.
Really? Yeah. Because, you know, you look back at the news back in the 70s and you think, you know.
Yeah, post-Vietnam.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
It wasn't as bad as it is right now.
Social media to me is a big role in media. Social media and media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and power and greed plays a big role. A lot of power for very few to control the masses.
Do you notice? Yeah, and also, you know, you were talking about the Spartans who kill face to face, and how killing in face to face is much different than through controlling a drone or, you know, a rifle. Yeah, much in the same way that talking shit to someone on social media is
no, the
talking shit to their
keyboard warriors
face.
are endless.
But
there's going to be somebody probably from this podcast that's, you know, in their mom's basement that wants to feel like the biggest badass on the planet by beating the shit out of a keyboard and giving an opinion that they would never ever bleed for because they're too much of a bitch.
Right. Yeah. But it's a serious thing though, because people, if you're on your, I got a thing back from when I was on my phone for too much. It tells you on your phone like how long you've been on my
your FaceTime
usage.
or whatever at the end of the week.
And you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
8 hours, whatever.
Dude,
it is.
It can be shocking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
And I see that and I'm like, so, okay, your average person's, you know, on social media for 2 hours a day, and that has replaced their social interactions with other people.
No doubt.
Largely. So when your social interactions become antagonistic, become aggressive, and that's a big part of the interaction, then
of course
you think that's what it's like in the real world.
And of course you're going to be miserable.
Yeah, for sure. And you're going to have this viewpoint towards your fellow man.
At your core, you will be miserable.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the thing. Is I don't want to just be happy in life, right? And I want to feel joy and happiness the way God intended. Like I want to feel it the way that it's almost every time it hits you, it feels spiritual. And the only way to do that is to get through your own demons. The only way to do that is to be completely at peace with you.
Yeah.
And who and how you are, where you are at this point in your life's journey. World-renowned trauma psychologist Dr. Bessel van der Kolk says, you know, in order for you to grow forward and heal forward as a human being, you have to forgive yourself for everything you've done in your life in order to survive up at which the point you are right now.
Right. Acknowledging that these were survival mechanisms.
And most people never do that. Most people live surface level lives and never go beneath the surface because they're scared to death. You know, fear, just like I tell the boys, you know, like, look, fear of judgment, ridicule, all the things that are very human, having that dictate your greatness makes you achieving your God-given potential impossible. Just the way it goes.
Yeah. And so much of it is it's like a survival mechanism that's completely useless. It's like subconsciously, it's
counterintuitive.
Right. Exactly. It's like, this is going to help me live. This is going to help me be part of this tribe by acting this way and holding onto this guilt or harboring this guilt for some weird reason.
It's all bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's what society tells us. Like, that's the thing, man. And I mean, I know I got a little heated about the keyboard warriors there a minute ago, and my apologies. But Like I know people that have checked out because of that.
Yeah, for sure. I've people who have, because of political differences on social media, don't talk to you anymore, and their
families that are being shattered.
Yeah,
because of politics.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
over social media, nonetheless. Yeah,
I'm like, are you serious right now?
Yeah.
Like, you really believe in totality that either side of the aisle truly gives you shit about you and your family's well-being?
Yeah.
Like, you're being lied to. You're being led to your own destruction.
Yeah. People on both sides honestly think that if Kamala's elected or if Trump's elected, it will be the end of our civilization. They honestly
unbelievable,
think
bro.
And it's so crazy how
it's unbelievable. Yeah. It's unbelievable. Like, no matter which way it goes, it's gonna be a shit show.
Yeah.
No matter which way. And I couldn't tell you which way or the other it's gonna go. Who knows? I don't know. Because I don't think any of it's above board ever.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah.
And I think that we're just a bunch of peons that we go through life trying to do the best we can and make the most of what we have. And, some of us are destructive and some of us aren't. And here's the deal, man. Like, straight up, I woke up every day and fought for evil for a long time. Because that's what this world is to me through my eyes, is one big fight between good and evil. And every day you wake up, you have to decide which side you're going to fight for. And sometimes throughout the day, it switches because we're humans. And that's okay. It's okay to not be okay. That makes you completely normal. Like post-traumatic stress. Like, if you're diagnosed with post-traumatic stress, or, it's not a death sentence.
Right.
What that is that it's a completely normal reaction to an otherwise abnormal situation.
Right.
It's a survival mechanism
100%.
built in.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with you.
Yeah.
You're normal. Like, chill.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything that's laden from that anxiety perspective. I had 2010. I had a bad panic attack from underlying anxieties and stuff, and I checked out, like, depersonalization. I kind of like, there's like a glass wall between me and the world, and so since then, being present and, like, in the moment, and that's what kind of started my kind of, like, own personal journey with this. But being present in the moment was always really hard to do because I was always emotionally kind of checked out. And so that's, like, for me, the last 14 years has been this kind of, like, ongoing process to just
good for you, bro.
Yeah, just to be back and
man, good for you.
Yeah, and again, I
see, and that was my point in the very beginning. Like, you're feeding your inner warrior.
Yeah.
You're letting your warrior eat.
Right.
And I dig that. Like, that is the type of things that people need to hear. People need to know, like, hey, I had this event and this is how I struggled and this is how I changed it.
And
because you're vulnerable.
Right.
You're being real. Yeah. You're not trying to gain shit, man. You're just trying to get someone to be better tomorrow than they were today.
Right.
And I applaud you for that.
Because we all, I mean, like you said, comparing pain is exactly right. I haven't been to war, and my seeming, comparing my pain to somebody else's is completely useless, because whatever my pain is the pain that I dealt with that led me to where I was.
Made you who you are.
Yeah, and so just there's not. It's hard though for a lot of people to be vulnerable and show it. So it's
and that's okay.
Yeah, but I think
it's a journey. Yeah, right. It's a journey, not a destination.
Yeah,
like, you're gonna die an eternal student of life. You just have to accept that.
Yeah.
Right. So what I tell people all the time, like, what's your ultimate goal? With one tribe, 22 kill. Like, what's your goal? Like, you want the number to be down to 0? And I'm like, no, it's not a realistic goal.
Right.
My goal is to have the human race understand that it's okay to have acceptance of the is. It is what it is, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Your control stops outside your skin.
Mm-hmm.
You have zero control outside of your skin.
Yes.
Just be okay with that.
Yeah.
And every human being on the planet struggles with that fact.
For sure. Yeah. Amen. For sure.
And it's like, can we just lean in, please? There's been enough death, enough destruction, enough fighting.
Yeah.
Enough blood. My God, enough loss. Can we just please stop?
Yeah.
Just for a minute. At least can we just have a timeout and come to the center and go, hey, what's the real issue here?
Yeah.
What are we really fighting? You know? Because when you really look at it and you look at it through unadulterated lenses that are pure in the outcome that you want, that is togetherness for human race, a lot of these things that you see really reveal themselves pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
There's self-interest, self-gain.
For sure.
There's no room for that in the fight for the greater good. And if I identify that in you, you're not going to be in my circle very long.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And unfortunately, with everything, with media, with social media, it's like that's being propagated to where the majority of people, it's like the Matrix.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's like just observing, like, or it's just being fucking real. Like, just, I don't know. It's just being genuine. And
it's, I mean, that's the thing, is the world starved for it.
Yeah.
Starved for it. Because everywhere you look, in particular, social media, news, pick a channel, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you're getting the same fake surface level bullshit. And so when you're able to unzip your chest cavity and spill your soul all over some people, that is going to make an impact.
Yeah.
They're going to latch onto that.
Yeah.
Right? When I can walk into a room and say, hey, listen, good news. Whether I'm speaking to 5 people or 5,000, and I say, everyone in here is equally fundamentally flawed. Everyone. And it's by design. So it's okay. Everyone relax. Because shit's about to get gnarly.